Hi guys, welcome to my channel Venusianscorp, where I talk about all things astrology and tarot. Today I wanted to talk about a very interesting topic about why you may not relate to the typical descriptions about your rising sign. I get a lot of people writing into me saying that I'm a Virgo rising or I'm a Cancer rising, but I don't relate to descriptions of my rising sign. So what is the reason for that? So I thought I'll talk about this in a video, in a dedicated video. So keep watching if you're interested in this topic. Before I start, I wanted to let you guys know that I do natal chart readings. So I look at your birth chart, I look at the different planets, houses, and the aspects, and I tell you what kind of challenges you might be facing in your life. And I also give you a recommendation plan, an action plan that you can use to move forward in your life and overcome these challenges. Apart from this, I also do synastry chart readings. These are called relationship compatibility readings. So let's say if you are trying to get into a relationship, if you have a crush on somebody and you want to know what it's going to be like, you can contact for a synastry chart reading. And I also do tarot card readings. So you can ask me questions related to any aspect of your life, and I'll do a tarot card reading for you. If you want to contact me for any of these, drop me a message on my Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Venusianscorp. You can also drop me an email at astroluck111@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Both the links are in the description box below, so be sure to contact me. Okay, so let's get started. So your rising sign is basically the first impression that people get of you when they meet you for the first time. So a lot of people call the rising sign your mask, but I don't really like to look at it that way. I think of it like this way. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're going to a party, or let's say you're going to a friend's place, or let's say it's a new environment, right? It's a new environment where you don't know too many people, like it's unfamiliar territory. So you choose an outfit that's going to make you feel the most comfortable in that scenario, right? That outfit is your rising sign. So that's how I like to look at it. So maybe it's your favorite black sweatshirt. I don't know, I'm just giving an example. Or maybe it's something more flamboyant, like this beautiful red dress that makes you feel really, elegant and beautiful. So it depends on what makes you feel uh, most comfortable when you're meeting people in an unfamiliar environment. That is your rising sign. That's how I like to look at it. Now, when you look at the 12 signs of the zodiac, there are 12 signs, and a circle, it's usually represented in a zodiac wheel. A wheel is 360 degrees, and every sign has 30 degrees dedicated to it. That's how it makes up 360 degrees. So, even in your rising sign, every rising sign has, it makes a span of 30 degrees. Um, and within these 30 degrees, you have three separate subdivisions. These are called decans. So you have 0 to 10 degrees, which is the first decan, and then 10 to 20 degrees, which is, 11 to 20 degrees, which is the second decan, and 21 to 30 degrees, which is the third decan. So it depends on what decan your rising sign is in. Like you could be a Cancer rising sign, but you could be in the second decan of Cancer rising, which would make you being ruled by Pluto. So it would give you this scorpionic flavor. Whereas if you're a Cancer rising in the first decan, then you're ruled by the moon. So you relate more closely to the typical descriptions of Cancer rising. So a lot of factors play a part in this. So first, like I talked about, it's going to depend on the decan of your rising sign, what degrees your rising sign falls in. Second thing is you need to look at the depositor of your rising sign. I'll give you an example. You could be a Cancer rising. I'll just give another example of Cancer rising. You could be a Cancer rising. Cancer is ruled by the moon, and your moon could be in the sign of Capricorn, which is like the opposite energy of Cancer. So you could feel very different from a Cancer rising, and maybe you're even in the first decan of Cancer rising, which is ruled by the moon. So your moon is in Capricorn, and you could feel more Capricornian than a typical Cancer rising. So a lot of things play a part in this. You could be in the third decan of Cancer rising, which is ruled by Neptune, and your Neptune could be, let's say, in Sagittarius, just giving an example, but that is going to affect the flavor of how you relate to your rising sign and what you feel as a person, when you meet people for the first time. Another thing that you want to look at is the depositor, like I said. So not just the decans and which planet is ruling the decan and where that planet falls in your chart. Like I said, if you're in the first decan of Cancer rising, it's ruled by the moon. So you need to check where your moon is. Not only what sign your moon is, but also which house your moon falls in, right? You also need to look at aspects that are being made to your moon sign. Is it in a favorable position, or is it like in the 12th house or something, which is like just a solitary moon placement in the 12th house? So a lot of things are going to affect. The other thing I wanted to say is the depositor. Like, for example, I'll give my example. I'm a Gemini rising, in sidereal, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury, right? And my Mercury is in Scorpio, so that completely changes the flavor of a typical Gemini rising. A lot of things like that. So that's another thing. You can look at the final depositor. Like, you could have a Gemini rising, your Mercury could be in Scorpio, and then you need to look at Scorpio. Where are Mars and Pluto in the chart? Which sign is Mars in, which house Mars is in, where is Pluto, which house Pluto is in. So a lot of things are going to affect the flavor of your rising sign. So it's not just like, a lot of people look at it as a cut and dry solution. And even though I talk about individual placements on a lot of my videos, like I do series like sun sign series, moon sign series, Venus sign series, and these are just individual placements in isolation that I talk about, but then it's a whole birth chart that we need to take into consideration. You are not just one placement, you're not just one aspect, like you are your whole chart, and that's an entirely different equation that comes into the picture. There's so many things to consider, so it's not a very simplistic solution. There is way more to what meets the eye. Like I said, you could be a Cancer rising, but then you could feel very Scorpio on it because you're in the second decan. Your Pluto could be in Scorpio, and that just exemplifies the Scorpio energy. A lot of things play a part in this. So that's why I say, your rising sign, yes, you can look at typical descriptions. Like, let's say you are a Capricorn rising, you can look at generic descriptions of the internet, but then you may not relate to it because of these reasons. First of all, the decan. Second of all, what planet is ruling the decan and where that planet is in your chart, which sign, which zodiac, which house it is in. And also, what is the final depositor of that rising sign? Like I said before, so many things are going to play a role in how you come across to people when you meet them for the first time. It's not going to be like a typical cookie cutter approach that, okay, you're a Cancer rising or you're a Capricorn rising, so you're going to appear this way. You could be a Cancer rising, but you could have Mars in the first house, and that's going to completely change the way you come across to people. You could have Mars conjuncting your ascendant. That's again going to change a lot of things about your rising sign. Like, you may appear more aggressive, more outgoing, more extroverted than you actually are because you've got Mars sitting in the first house. A lot of things like that. So yeah, if you would like to know more about your chart, you can contact me for a reading, but this is not like a promotional thing. I'm just saying this to say that there's so much to astrology than just your individual placements. Everything is connected, just like we are all connected. Even in your chart, everything is connected, everything has a role to play, and it all comes together in your life, and it all comes alive in your birth chart. So yeah, that's a little bit about your rising sign and why you may not relate to the typical descriptions of the internet. So if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. And if you resonated with this video, do leave a comment in the comment box. I love interacting with you guys. So that's it for today, and I'll see you very soon. Bye guys.